Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Daniel Barth from the University of Arkansas Astronomy for Educators program, and I'm here today to help you observe the upcoming eclipse this August safely, effectively, and scientifically. Perhaps you're a homeschool parent. Maybe you just have kids who are excited about it. You may be a teacher, a scout leader, or a church youth leader. But you have questions about the eclipse. How do I observe safely? How do I have fun? How do I explain how it works? Most of all, how do I make sure that the students and children who are working with me observe in complete safety? Well, let's take a look at an exciting, easy method for observing the eclipse today. One of the best methods for observing the eclipse is to use a pair of solar eclipse glasses. These are available from many sources. Be sure you get yours early. Some school districts are buying them for all the children. These were donated by my friends at Explore Scientific in Springdale, Arkansas. Now, you can go ahead and slip these on over your glasses. Very fashionable, but most importantly, very safe. With these on, I can stare directly at the sun and see the solar disk. The solar film material here is tested and certified so that no harmful radiation reaches your eye. Don't try to make your own solar eclipse glasses. Don't try stacking sunglasses or any such silly thing. If you're going to use a pair of solar eclipse glasses to observe, make sure they're obtained from a reputable source so they'll protect your eyes completely and fully. The other thing that's essential, solar eclipse glasses are for your naked eye only. You put them on, you look at the sun, but you cannot put these on and then look through a pair of binoculars or telescope. Binoculars and telescopes concentrate the light of the sun, and even a modest pair of binoculars, it's rather like taking a magnifying glass and burning a hole in a leaf on a sidewalk on a summer's day. The telescope and the binocular would burn right through the protective solar film, and that energy would then damage your eye. So please, if you're going to use solar eclipse glasses, use them safely, by themselves, look at the sun, get a reclining chair, sit back and enjoy the spectacle. But what if you don't have a pair of solar eclipse glasses? How can you observe the solar eclipse? Also, what if you have a group of students, scouts, or children from your church or school who want to observe and you don't have enough for everyone? It's very awkward to be passing glasses. Okay, now it's your turn. Well, one way you can observe with everybody is to use a pair of binoculars. You might be saying, wait a minute, Dr. Barth, you just told us that you can't stare at the sun with a pair of binoculars. It's very dangerous. And that's true. But you can use the binocular to project the sun's image safely onto a piece of paper. Now, to do this, you need to cap one side of the binocular. This is an old pair I've had kicking around for years, and I'm afraid I lost the caps many moons ago. So I've improvised a cap with just a piece of standard kitchen cooking foil, which I've shaped over the lens. Once I've got one side capped, light can only come through the other side. Now to do this, I'm going to get a piece of paper. Let's assume the sun is up here over my right shoulder. I'm going to hold the binoculars up with the big end, the objective, pointed towards the sun, and I'm going to let the light pass through and fall onto a piece of paper. Now, this isn't hard, but it takes some practice. If you're a teacher or a scout leader or a church youth leader, you're going to want to look practiced and professional in front of your children. So make sure you get out with a pair of binoculars and try this out in your own backyard several days before the eclipse so you get the hang of it. Once you do and you point the binocular at the sun and you've got the image projected onto the piece of paper, you'll have a nice piece of paper with an image of the sun on it that's anywhere from 1 inch to 2 inches in diameter, depending on the magnification of your binoculars and how far you hold them away. Sometimes it's often easier to have a student helper hold the paper steady while you stand and hold the binoculars and concentrate on keeping the image projected. Now, the really neat thing about this is that if the sun is over here and I'm projecting the paper, all the students looking at the paper will be standing with their back to the sun. When you project an image this way and all the students are looking at it, no one is facing the sun at all. Because of this, observing a solar eclipse with a pair of binoculars is one of the safest ways to observe an eclipse, especially if you have a group of students or children with you. It's also important to remember, if you're the person in charge, the parent, the teacher, the scout leader, you need to make sure you educate your students and children before they go out to make sure no one looks at the sun directly. Because we want everyone to have fun and be safe. Well, if we're projecting an image onto a piece of paper, that's nice and dandy. When will the eclipse occur? For us here in northwest Arkansas, first contact, when the moon takes that first little nibbling bite out of the sun's disk, is scheduled for about 11:43. Now, this isn't precise. For all the grandeur of mathematics and science, scientists and mathematicians make a prediction, an approximation. It's not exact. The time where you experience first contact, that first bite out of the sun's disk, will vary depending on how far east, west, north, or south you live. I've looked up the time for Fayetteville, Arkansas. The farther west you live, the earlier first contact will happen. If you live all the way in western Oklahoma, you'll see it about 15 minutes earlier. If you live all the way east across Arkansas, say in Memphis, Tennessee, you'll see it 10 to 15 minutes later. Excuse me. Now, what about the duration? How long does the eclipse take? Okay, that first little nibble occurs about 11:43. Gee, when's it going to be complete? When's it going to be dark? Well, the eclipse takes a long time. From the very first contact, the first nibble out of the sun, the moon moves all the way across the sun's disk to the very last bite when the moon passes beyond the solar disk. It takes about 3 hours. Last contact is scheduled for about 2:40 in the afternoon. That means that this solar eclipse event will take about 3 hours. Gee, you might think that's an awful long time. Well, if you've got students who are committed to observing the entire event, please make sure when you go out, there's plenty of bottled water, everyone stays hydrated. A nice cap to keep the sun off your head is also a good idea. Gee whiz, you wouldn't want to get a sunburn, would you? No. So, if you're going to be going out occasionally during the school day to see the eclipse, that's also fine. How do we record it? What if you have older students, science students, math students who are wanting to record the eclipse in more detail? Well, one of the easiest ways, I took a bottle cap from a sports drink and a tablet of paper, and with a marker, I went ahead and drew 12 circles, carefully numbered, across this piece of paper. Now, if you're going to want more than one, perhaps you have several students with binoculars trying this, you may want to make a blank template with 12 circles on a piece of paper and then photocopy them off for your students. Excuse me. In any case, when you see that first little nibble out of the solar disk, aha, I see it. Well, at that point, that's the best time to go ahead and make your first sketch. Take a pen or a pencil, and while someone's holding binocular and someone else is holding the paper, go ahead and mark where the first bite comes out of the sun. Then, as the eclipse progresses, make another sketch in a new circle about every 10 minutes. Make sure that you're adjusting the distance between the binocular and the paper so that the solar image fills the disk. Once you've got this, you'll see an exciting pattern start to show as more and more the sun's disk gets covered. If you want to make a drawing every 10 minutes or so, then you'll need about 24 circles. If you want to get more ambitious and make one every 5 minutes, you'll need about 48 circles. Once this is done, what do we do with it? One of the interesting things you can do, you can Xerox these sheets with the sketches on them. Give one to each student, and they can go ahead and cut these circles out, and with a glue stick, paste them onto an index card, number them carefully, put them in order, and make a flip book that shows the moon's path across the sun. Even very young students in 2nd or 3rd grade can accomplish this. It's also very exciting because more advanced students can measure the path of the moon across. Each one of these circles is 1/2 degree wide exactly. And you can, with the times recorded, you have time and distance, and you can determine the speed at which the moon's disk crosses the sun. Not just a word problem, real data, real science, real math, real exciting. In any case, I hope this has helped, and I hope you're going to have an exciting eclipse day. I'm Dr. Daniel Barth with the University of Arkansas Astronomy for Educators program, and I'll be back with more exciting eclipse events for you. Thank you.